That notification saying I've gone live.
Ja.
Still had somebody else's passwords and email. So you are deluding yourself when you think you can just look on your face.
Well, that's because
You like that?
okay, I don't like them anymore, but they are much more secure than Android
Wow,
phones.
so they say. Oh.
They are. Was that your
I just want to see how much they are in Bitcoin.
Phone.
Why am I offline? I'm not offline.
Okay.
Take my phone in if I couldn't like erase it first.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I tried to erase this phone because when it came from Hong Kong, I thought I'll just do a factory reset just in case because they said it's been it may have been pre-used.
Refurbished.
Yeah, and so I did a factory reset. And when I went in to put my passwords and my email in, it still had somebody else's passwords and email. So you are deluding yourself when you think you can just look on your face.
Well, that's because okay, I don't like Apple anymore, but they are much more secure than Android
Wow,
phones.
so they say. Oh.
They are. Was that your Android phone going off?
That is my phone going off. Yeah.
Or was it Big Ben?
It was. So,
yeah, right. Well,
what?
There wasn't a problem, so we don't feel guilty about not helping you in that one.
Oh, the walking down your street and the people
down the street,
yeah.
yeah.
Just barge them out of the way. Tell them that we said so.
Yeah.
For more useful advice, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. We're back with What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol?
Yep.
And we would like to assist somebody in Australia.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Philippa says, I live in Australia. We freeze inside our houses in winter because we don't know how to do heating. Can you help?
Yeah, I can imagine that's a problem. It's not that they don't know how to do heating, but it gets so hot in Australia that you can't have a place without air conditioning and everything. And so they get so used to it.
But can't air conditioning also blow hot?
Yeah, of course it does, yeah.
Well, what's the problem then?
Well, I don't know. Well, actually, no, they're not all two-way, are they? Not all air conditioning units are two-way. Well, it depends where you live. If you live in Melbourne and Sydney, they can get quite cold. But if you live up in the north of Australia, it's never cold. So I don't know when you would freeze up there. Or in the middle. I mean, you just boil in the middle.
I can remember going to Miami. The last time I went to Miami, which was maybe like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And went out to a club, and I, as usual, was wearing hat, coat, scarf and gloves.
In Miami?
Well, it was actually cold. They were having a very unusual cold spell. I think it snowed. Maybe not in Miami, but in somewhere nearby. It was really freezing. And so I went to the coat check to find that no such thing existed. And I said, well, where do we put our coats? Don't you have a coat check? And he says, no, this is Miami.
Yeah, I know where I am.
So no, that nobody wears coats. He said it never gets cold here, and I'm like, what? Pointing to outside.
And he must have been even more cold than you, because if he lives there.
Yeah.
It was cold when I was there in January.
Really?
It was really cold, yeah, really cold. Raining.
Really on
Freezing. Just not enough clothes. Didn't have enough clothes. We've been in the Caribbean on the cruise. And
Well, at least I know I
went
can
back
get
to
it in.
Miami, and it was
Good morning.
literally freezing.
Oh, can I ask a favour while you're there?
Walking around with a scarf, I had to go and buy a jumper. Seriously,
What?
Oh,
it
Jesus
was
Christ.
cold.
What? I
No,
went
no,
to
no,
say.
no, no.
And they said
When
then
you look at me
it
like
was
that, it makes me not want to ask you something.
unseasonably
Right.
No, go on.
cold spell.
Right.
Could you go on
Not-
YouTube?
Not normal. But it sounds to me like there's only
Because
two
I want to
people
see
in
what
the
happens if
studio,
you
Exactly,
and
if you
we've
100%.
try
both
to
been in
interact
Miami
with the
when it's
chat
been
by
cold. So I
Bingo.
think they're lying
maybe
to
lightly
people
press
There
it.
must be.
about the climate.
Jesus
But in
Christ.
Australia, yeah. Look, if you're getting cold, turn the aircon off. Maybe she does
Well, that's a
mean.
good idea.
Maybe
yeah.
she
Or
lives
wear
in.
like merino wool base layers, which I'd spend 10 months
Can you
of the
share it
year
from your
wearing
channel?
now.
Because I mean, I know
They
you're
are
unsubscribed,
fantastic.
so.
What do you mean base layer?
Well, I didn't know you had a YouTube
Like,
channel.
yeah, like a long sleeve shirt.
You never told me
and,
that.
Long johns,
What am I
made out
searching?
of merino
Pac-Man
wool.
fought
It's really
wolves.
soft.
You're really much older than I thought. You're not walking around in long johns all the
I
time.
most certainly am.
Really?
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Like I'm in like Laurel and Hardy used to do. But I don't have like a flap at the back.
Oh, yeah, line.
Can you send me a picture?
But
I
the one
certainly
underneath
will not do that.
Okay.
Oh, please.
Absolutely
I
not.
promise I won't put it on Instagram.
Right. So it's a promise, is it?
That's a promise.
Yeah. That's a no from me.
Oh my
So
god.
if you were to hit
Just
into
dress
the
up
live
more.
chat and
Buy
like
yourself
just
a
say
blooming
something.
jumper for crying out loud, Philippa. Stop bothering us.
But stop! Don't say don't do heating. They do heating. You can buy heating in the hottest places in the world. I've been to Thailand and I've seen radiator shops for crying out loud, where
What?
it's never cold.
Well, it's never cold in Thailand.
Yeah,
So
so
the
you
only
can
chat
get
I'm going to see
heating.
on there
They might be rubbish at heating in Australia
is
because they
Mixer.
probably don't need it. But if you want heating, get
Okay,
some
you can
heating.
close that
You
down.
can
Have you got
ski
Facebook on
in
there?
Australia, can't you? Doesn't it get properly cold there?
It can
Do.
do in parts
Oh, I
of
don't
it.
know, you
Yeah,
got it
in
on
parts
your
of
phone.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perth it doesn't get very cold, and
Yeah, I thought that was
Queensland
something.
doesn't
I
get
am.
not Queensland. Yeah, Queensland doesn't get
Yeah.
very cold, but it doesn't get cold. It's boiling up there. There's loads of flies.
I don't know what I mean. I
Okay,
haven't been to
so
Australia.
Ever?
No, and I've got no desire to go. I feel like I've been there already. You know, you see,
Yeah.
it's like New York. You feel, even if you haven't been, you feel like you've been there because you've just seen so many pictures.
You
and
know what
so
it's
many
like,
films
yeah.
like
and
a
so on.
live
And
interactive
yeah,
chat.
mentally I've been to
Right, can
Australia.
comment.
Oh yeah, I know you can comment
I
like
haven't
what's
physically
comment on it
been, then,
earlier.
like,
I
avoiding
didn't
the
get the
flies
emoticon. It was just like a
all the other things that kill you.
thing.
Yeah, they have a lot of
Okay, close that
insects and
down.
animals there that
Right,
can
that's
kill
cool.
you. I've been twice, and I'm going
Could
again.
hear that there.
No,
That's
don't do
cool.
it, Carol.
And
No, I'm going. I know.
Mixer
They do
would
have
be Mixer.
monster
That would just be
things.
normal. Okay then.
Spiders, flies, snakes,
I'd want
Okay.
to be in one of those
cockroaches.
Zorb balls.
When I was on the Restream
Yeah.
website, there was something about
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a
I
chat
would
thing
do
which you could have
Australia
on the
in one of
PC.
those.
You might have
As long as it's only a
proper
small
puss then when it
program
comes
and
to
doesn't like use up
insects.
too much, you know,
Well,
of
they're
the
not my
computing
favourite.
power, then
If they've got more
get that.
eyes than legs, then it's right out for me.
What? What's got more eyes than legs?
Spiders.
They haven't. They've got 2 eyes and 8 legs. What are you talking about?
I think they've got way more eyes than that.
No, they haven't. Have they got eyes in the back of their heads?
Well, I think they almost literally do.
No, they don't.
Absolutely. You look it up.
Uh,
You look it up on the internet. Look up a close-up of the front of a tarantula or something like that. I bet they're just peppered with eyes. It's like somebody's put eyes in a shotgun and blasted the front of their little face.
Yeah.
You need to stop smoking that stuff.
It's true.
It's not true. That is
absolutely
not
true.
true. But it would put me off living there.
Yeah, completely.
Mark's
or going there.
brother lives there, and my friends live there, and that's why we're going there in January. And I do want to go, but yeah, I couldn't. No, I don't want. The reason
Don't go to the loo because, you know,
No, check it first.
absolutely. Or just don't go.
No,
Wait
okay.
till you leave.
I will never go. I don't want to go there mainly because it's just too far away. I would never want to live somewhere that was that far away from
Anywhere else, yeah. Apart from New Zealand, and what's
That's
New
still
Zealand?
4 hours.
Is it?
Yeah, that's like from here to Turkey or something. 4 hours.
Which one to go to Turkey for?
Turkey's all right. I like
Oh,
Turkey.
really?
Yeah, it's really nice. The food's great. The beaches are brilliant, and it's dirt cheap. cheap as chips. They're not in the euro, are they? They're not in the EU. That's why it's cheap.
Okay then.
Yeah.
But we, other than just dress up warmer or stop whining,
Oh,
we
heating.
can't help you, Philippa.
No. Get some
I just
insulation
thought
in
of something.
the
I'm not
house.
even going to get the
Yes.
mixer chat
Do
on there
yourself a
if that's not
favour.
being done direct
Then
to
it will stay
mixer.
cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter.
I think we almost helped there, didn't we? Almost.
How have we got a
You've
problem
got
with
to chat there.
Australia?
Yeah,
it's the
but
connect-
the chat isn't connected direct to mixer anymore. It's
interconnectivity,
connected to the Restream
world's
server.
interconnectedness.
Global.
Yeah.
It's global, isn't it?
Oh, you mean this company's global?
Yeah.
Oh,
Global.
Oh, okay. Have you typed anything in chat? And that's on the mixer app. Oh, okay, so mixer still comes through.
You didn't even say thank you.
Thank you. No, because I was about to stop streaming.
I don't care.
That's why. So I was a bit confused about what was happening, that's all. Yeah, okay. Okay. No, carry on. Streaming.
we are global.
We are global. Literally, we're getting problems. We want more from Australia. More problems from
Oh, yeah, I
Australia.
forgot that music.
No, I don't mind New Zealand.
No, we're very
It's weird seeing
specific
that
about
first,
that.
like-
Australia, yes, but New Zealand, no. Until they
First
actually,
person.
do something for a
Well,
little
like how it
while
will
and just
work.
have scenery. Because what is that?
We'd like to know what's better.
It's quite
an
easy to
oil
do, really, because
radiator or a convector heater.
What's a convector heater?
you've got all your.
Works
Convect-
with a
If I could just describe
Oh,
it briefly
well, you
in
should have said
a few
so.
words,
Should have been more
you've got your
specific.
different. So you have to look up there. I can see you looking at me.
We don't have any heating in our house, except for an open fire.
You've got all your
Oh, how's
scenes
that
here, which are comprised of
And it goes up.
sources.
God, you're so
So, like
Right.
how I want it to be, sort of,
right. House,
Well,
where?
how I
The
want
one
it to
in
be laid out.
France.
So this, just the
Oh.
Elgato, it's just for
Well, it must
testing
get
the
cold in
Elgato,
southern
so it's
France,
only got
surely.
that there. I don't know
It's
what I can do
freezing.
that.
Right. Well,
But that really should only have the Logitech in there. BRB
It
screen.
is
See, that's got
funny.
BRB
Just get a
text,
French
which
person over
in
and
the
they'll
other one.
nail
So
the
a scene is a
radiator to your wall.
collection of
You know
sources
what, though?
which are,
Central heating
you know,
is really quite
laid
bad for
out.
you. It's
And see,
really
if I click on something that's not even
unhealthy.
active,
It is
it will
That keeps
unhealthy.
you
show you
alive
where it
when it's
is.
freezing cold outside. How can that be bad for you?
Well, it doesn't get that
And
cold.
then you just,
Doesn't get,
you know, set the
know,
audio
cold.
levels
Snows
how you
down
want
there.
them, and
Every now and again.
It's
away you
snowed
fucking go.
last year, 2018 it snowed.
See, you were
Fucking easy.
lying. It does
I
get
know,
cold.
I know, but
But at least I know
yeah,
that
but
Mixer
it's
still
not, it's,
interacts
the
with
last
that.
time it
Huh?
snowed before that was
It's
like
like a
10
warm-
years.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
warm cold. I understand.
Well, my glasses fell down, didn't they?
Did
It
they?
is cold. It
Yeah,
does
like
get really
yesterday
cold.
or
But the
this
point
morning.
is,
This morning.
it's quite
Oh, okay.
nice to be in a place that isn't permanently hot all the time. And
Oh, I think
Sorry,
I could live
Chloe.
with that.
what? Being hot all the time?
Yeah. Well,
It's just
75, 80 degrees. Is
That's
that
definitely
too
off, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
Pardon?
that's warm.
That's definitely off, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to central heating. I'm used to it, but I'm getting used to not having it now. And I quite like.
I like how you said that, but you still
Well, I have the heating on.
moved the
and
table in
the
such a way where you went that way.
See, you're pathetic.
Oh,
You really are. You're such an old man. You've got your long
Oh.
johns
What's up?
on, and
yeah.
jumpers, and the heating.
I often have 5 layers on. And a heated blanket.
Have you been to the doctors?
It's fine.
Yes, but not for that.
I think you've got an inbuilt temperature problem.
Maybe, yeah.
Your thermostat's gone.
So, as for Philippa,
Oh, you done
We
it
were
again.
helpful.
yeah, I think we were.
Philippa?
And if we weren't, we should just gloss over it and move on.
Yep.
All right, we'll be back.
Okay. That's 3.
Is it?
Yeah. We won't be back. You need to do that bit again.
Oh.
I'm not sure where it was.
So, you're welcome, Philippa.
Yeah.
Sure, was it?
You're very
Sure.
Aren't you
Ready?
just?
Yeah.
Lucky you. Stop whining. So, we will be back next episode of
Yeah, that's fine.
helpfulness
Yeah.
and advice.
What's your problem with Nick and Carol?
Yeah.
I just
and
want
you
to
can
check
email
something.
your problem to
Please, what's
Nick
it?
and Carol at global.com. That's Nick and Carol at global.com. And until next week's helpful episode, we should remind you not to listen to our advice.
Ever.
This is a Global Original Podcast. Welcome along to another episode of What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol? I'm Nick Abbott and she's Carol McGiffin.
Hello.
And we care, don't we, Carol?
So much it hurts.
Now, problem number one. Every time I see my mother-in-law, she moans incessantly about her health. I try and change the subject, but she ends up
What did you say?
Hmm?
What did you say?
I said, I feel like I'm making a wrench.
Oh. Yeah. Facebook excluded the Mixer chat and YouTube chat, which show up there now. When it comes from Mixer, it's just normal. When it comes from YouTube, that's when the restream bot gets active and YouTube says the username and that.
Oh, cool.
If I type a reply, I've just gone HG. That should appear there. Oh, there we go. Mixer, restream bot Mixer there. And for Mixer users, that'll just show normally. So no matter where the text, Facebook doesn't do it, but Facebook's Facebook, whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, I think the only way I can integrate it with Facebook is if I have like a group page or something. You know, like how that's the thing. They don't do it to personal pages, so. I'll talk to you later.
I'm listening. I've got it on quiet. I promise you, I'm listening.
I know.
I promise.
What?
Very grumpy.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not grumpy. I've got a smile on my face.
You haven't. You're not smiling now.
That's when I'm concentrating.
That's not the point.
No.
Bringing it back round to herself and her ailments. It's got to the stage where I no longer want to visit her. I feel I need to maintain a relationship for the sake of my husband. What should I do, says Olivia in Gloucestershire.
You'd get on really well with her mother-in-law, wouldn't you?
Who, me?
You.
Well, complain. No, I don't want to hear about her ailments. I want to tell her about mine.
You won't be able to get a word in anyway.
I wonder after what period of, after what age you do start to just moan continuously about, oh, my lumbago and my bunions, and I suppose with age comes a large number of ailments.
Speak for yourself. I mean, the thing is, Nick, it depends what your level of tolerance is, doesn't it?
Yeah, 0.
Well, I don't have that much tolerance for people going on about it. And frankly, my husband, who is rather younger than I am, 22 years younger than me, does exactly that.
What, moans about?
Every single day he's got a new ailment. And I do really just lose patience with him. So I feel your pain. What's her name?
Olivia.
Olivia, I feel your pain, but at least that's your mother-in-law. You're not married to her, well, you are sort of, but you don't have to live in the same house, do you, or wake up with her. So I get it, I totally get it. It's a nightmare when people go on about, especially when they haven't really got them. Do you know what I mean? A bit like you.
Got what?
The ailments.
Oh.
They're kind of, you wake up and every day there's a new one. Oh, I've got an ache in my back. What do you think that is? Oh, my foot. Look at it. Look at the size of it.
I find that getting out of bed is very dangerous.
So do I. Stay in bed all day. It's been much better for everybody.
It is, because if you get out of bed, you haven't prepared yourself for a sudden jerky movement. And I often pull a muscle getting out of bed.
Are you... Oh, God. Do you get out of bed and then feel a bit dizzy and have to lie down again?
Well, I have to do an inventory. How are all my various bits? And most of the time it's perfectly fine, but you know, every now and again I pull something.
I bet you do.
Oh my God. That's not where this is supposed to be going.
I did. Well, all I said is, you know, I bet you pull something.
Yeah.
You probably do. Like, you know, your muscles are.
Sure.
Your muscles are very delicate at our age.
My muscle, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I see my mother-in-law, she moans incessantly about her health. What should I feel I need to maintain a relationship for the sake of my husband? What should I do? Says Olivia. Olivia, I think that you should change your husband.
No. That is way too drastic. It's not grounds for divorce, really, is it? Your mum moans about her illnesses all the time. Maybe you could just cut down the time, or have a word with him. Have a word with your husband. Just say, can you tell your mum to
Well, she's not going to listen to him.
Why not?
When does a mother ever listen to the advice of a child? It's the other way round.
No, it isn't.
Plus, you can't tell your mother to shut up about her illnesses.
Okay, well, just...
And you particularly can't say, my wife asked if you wouldn't mind shutting up about your illness.
Well, then there would be a divorce, wouldn't there? No, I don't know what to do. It's hard. What you have to do is just switch off from it.
Well...
Like, just stop listening and stop hearing about it. Because the thing is, when people get old, they don't know that they're annoying people.
They can't hear themselves.
They don't. Sometimes I stop myself in my tracks going, I'm being really annoying now. So I have to stop. I know you think that's all the time. You, Nick Abbott.
Think that you're annoying all the time?
Yeah, all the time.
Well, only when you're awake, although I imagine that you're probably annoying when you're asleep. Can you get your husband on the phone?
No, I can't. No, because you'll never get him off it.
The problem is, Olivia chose her husband.
Yeah, but not her mother-in-law.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, but they're part of the package, aren't they? You have to, you just have to go along with it.
But you don't know that they're part of the package until you're committed in some way, because she wouldn't have. Where are we? She wouldn't have met his mother until she'd sort of gone all in to a certain extent.
Yeah, I know, but you can't have everything, can you? Things aren't perfect. It's not always rosy. You want the guy, you have to have what he comes with, and that's the mother-in-law. I just spent quite a long holiday with my in-laws, actually. What?
Oh, I don't know, the look on your face.
Well, look, the thing is,
You were trying not to show emotion, and in doing that, you showed a lot of emotion.
No, I'm not showing emotion. What I'm trying to say is that you can, unless you live with them, right, and you get used to them, unless you actually live in the same house as your in-laws, or indeed elderly parents, they can be quite annoying. Because if you live with them, you get used to the way they are, and you can, you see them getting older, and you can see them change and get into this sort of situation
You
where
just tune it out.
Yeah, you do, and you have to. But when you don't see them very often, you see how they've changed since the last time you see them.
Plus, they have an enormous amount of new ailments that they haven't complained to you about.
Yeah. But the thing is, sometimes people don't complain about them. My mother-in-law never complains about her ailments, ever.
Well, how do you know she's got any?
Well, because she tells my husband about them, and he tells me.
Oh God!
But that's like me. I've got 3 million ailments. I've got 3 million things wrong with me. I'm pretty sure I have.
Your mother-in-law
I never go on about it ever.
is nice enough not to complain to you, her daughter-in-law, about her ailments, and so your husband fills you in.
Well, she doesn't want to worry anybody, you see. This is it. She's overly considerate. Do you know what I mean? She's very selfless.
Okay, well, so that sounds like a nice position to be in, but not the position that Olivia is in. Because Olivia just to recap, hates her mother-in-law.
She doesn't actually say that.
I'm just reading between the lines. So I think that there should be some sort of rule that when you start dating somebody, they show you all of their relatives that you're likely to have to spend any time with, and then you can make up your mind about whether you want to carry on the relationship.
No, that's not how it works. It's not. You can't say, "Oh, I'm not going to be with you because I don't like your mother."
Well, it seems perfectly reasonable to me. if the mother's going to be around a lot.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
But then equally you can't say, I like you, but I don't ever want to see your mum.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't, because that would just be mean, and I'm not mean. I don't mind his mum and dad, actually. I really like them.
This is not about you, Carol.
They're brilliant fun. No, I'm just giving you an example. I'm not making it about them.
Okay.
I'm
Bless
just
you.
saying that you get used to people and you have to accept them. If you want to be in that position with that other person, that's what comes with it. Certain things are unacceptable.
Did you notice that I stopped you dead when you were about to start complaining about your own ailments just a minute ago? You
Well,
started-
I wouldn't have gone on about them because I don't. I never, ever, ever tell anybody if there's anything wrong with me. I sneak off, get things sorted out, and then I return. That's it. There's nothing more boring than someone going on about what's wrong with them all the time.
Really? Because I make a living out of it.
Yeah, you do. Quite a good one, I would imagine.
I know, amazing, really.
Well, what's wrong with you now?
Oh, my tooth.
How's your tooth?
It's very bad. I was going to have it taken out, but the stupid dentist...
Oh, so you never had the big extraction?
No, not yet. No, I'm still waiting for it. Because my stupid dentist said that, it's too difficult. I'm not going
Well,
to...
that's dictated your entire schedule all week.
How do you mean?
Well, you know, can't do this day, can't do that day.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm having my tooth out and
It's
it
my
might be bad.
Stupid dentist.
Well, look, I think you're being a wuss over this. Whoops. You're being a wuss. Last word. Because I had a tooth out not so long ago. And it was just like, oh, is it done? It's done. And there he is holding this thing. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And the way they do it now, it's just, they don't even put you under. You know when you were little, you used to get that great gas that made you see kaleidoscopes and
Isn't
things?
that the gas that comes in those little metal bottles that you see littered all over car parks? Because that's what the kids are taking these days. Isn't that same stuff?
Oh, the things that look like soda siphon things.
Yeah, little ones.
Huh?
They're tiny little bottles. They're little collapsible silver bottles, about sort of 2 inches high.
Is that
And
what they are?
You see them everywhere. I think that's what the kids are taking these days.
No.
Yeah. They're all about dental hygiene now. And
Oh,
sadly...
they just like soda streams.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're all about the Coke. Sadly, that's all we've got time for, Olivia. But that wasn't any help at all, really, was it?
Not really.
No. But we'll try harder when we come back. And we're back. Now, this is a very long one.
Go on then.
Dear Nick and Carol, on the subject of misophonia,
What's that?
I'm writing on behalf of my partner, and she'd like to know if there's anything that can be done to cure misophonia. So her partner, as in him,
Yeah.
his partner, her partner, unless it's a threesome. I'm lost already.
The other half, yeah.
I'm writing on behalf of my partner, and she'd like to know if there's anything that can be done to cure misophonia. So her partner, him, doesn't get an undying urge to shove her laptop where the sun don't shine every time she uses it. She asks because every time she uses her laptop, the sound of her keys clicking on the keyboard drives a rage response. 4 exclamation marks. So he's really angry.
Oh. Still doesn't explain what misophonia is, but I think it was
Well-
it was an answer on a question on the Chase the other night.
Fortunately, the next paragraph, if you just wait...
Okay, sorry.
Misophonia is a disorder in which certain sounds trigger emotional or physiological responses that some might perceive as unreasonable given the circumstance.
You suffer from misophonia, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about.
Oh.
You just described it. I was like, hang on a second, that's that thing that you have. Crunch, crunch. You got any liquids? Can I have some Coke, please? Fucking hell, it feels body dry.
Because you haven't had a drink since I got home. You have a drink too.
You've got to swallow some dog hair, it feels like. Oh, this is how it starts. Starts with the tickle in the throat. Here I was, thinking I was trying to be nice, helping you with the shopping, but no, I get the fucking coronavirus instead. But if I got the coronavirus from coming out to help you shop,
I didn't ask you to, so you can't blame it on me. That was all you.
Oh, I know.
Well then, shut up. Alright, so I do, but it's boring. No.
Those
Yes,
who have
fucking turn
misophonia
up.
might describe it as when a sound drives you crazy.
Tell me if it's
Their
too
reactions
loud.
can range from anger and annoyance to panic and the need to flee.
Yeah, I get that as well. I get this.
The disorder is sometimes called selective sound sensitivity syndrome.
So you choose which sounds you want to be sensitive to.
Yeah. Well, no. That's not what that means, is it?
Well, I think it does. If it's selective, then you select
No?
what you want to.
Yeah.
Like my other half has selective hearing. He can only hear things he wants to hear. Everything he doesn't want to hear, he doesn't hear. Oh, I didn't hear. Oh, you know I'm deaf in one ear. That's what he says. Right, go on. Sorry.
Their reactions can range from anger and annoyance to panic and the need to flee. Does your husband flee?
Yes. Not from me, but another sound, a different sound.
Right. Nails down the blackboard.
No, because that doesn't happen very often. You don't often walk down the street or get in a car and someone's rubbing their knife down the blackboard.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah. No, if we get in a taxi or anything and someone starts cracking their knuckles, he literally has to get out of the car. He has to flee.
You know, it's just gas.
I know, it's air. I know, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
My knees do that every time I walk up the stairs.
My ankles does too. How is there gas in there?
I don't know.
Where does it come from? And once you dissipate it, where does it go?
Maybe it comes in through the gaps between your toes or something. I don't know. What, I don't know. Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Because when you have a massage and they pull your finger or whatever, and it goes, and I go, ah, and they go,
Here, Carol.
oh, it's just there.
Can you pull my finger?
No.
Anyway, the reactions can range from anger and annoyance to panic and the need to flee. The disorder is sometimes called selective sound sensitivity syndrome. Hope you can help. Andy in London, for and on behalf of Emma in London, hiding behind the sofa with a blanket over her and her laptop, working hard to earn a crust.
Oh, poor Emma.
Disclaimer.
Oh.
Of course, there is no risk of me ramming her laptop where the sun don't shine. I tend to get up and run out of the room. Oh, so he's the one with the problem. This is very badly written.
Yeah, no, he's got the misophonia because he can't stand the noise of her clicking on her keyboard. Yes.
So, however, I figured it'd be a good or funny one to discuss. Was a bit presumptuous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who do you think he is?
Yeah. Next.
The serious undertone is that misophonia is very much misunderstood, and it's a huge problem for any sufferer, as they tend not to be able to control their reactions.
That is true. I do believe that is a proper condition.
Sounds like a load of old made-up rubbish to me.
I don't know if it is. Well, look, I think I probably suffer from that from when people are chewing loudly or eating crisps behind me on the bus or something. I can't stand the noise. I can't stand. If Mark eats crisps, I have to tell him to go in the other room. I can't stand the noise. I don't know what it is. And I really try to be patient because I know it's unreasonable and it's not really doing any harm. But it's just the noise. It gets louder and louder. Do you know what I mean?
Like eating with their mouth open.
Sometimes people do that. Yeah.
Because that's just annoying in and of itself without the sound.
Well,
it's just rude.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the noise, the way it goes.
Well, now I'm appalled.
Yeah, but imagine if you went out with somebody and they knew they did that, but they didn't do it all the time you were caught in, and then you fell in love with them, and then they
they
suddenly
let
start
themselves
again.
go. Yeah.
Like they had
Well,
no
some people
teeth
make
in.
a racket even if they're not opening their mouth. Just
Do they?
chewing, just generally. It's like there's like an echo chamber in their mouth. Like their mouth made like a drum.
Does your jaw click as well?
Yeah, well, if I do it, yeah.
Yeah. So does mine sometimes. We're full of hot air.
Somebody should look into that, though. I mean, if it is gas when you crack your knuckles, which I do, I try not to, but once you start doing it, then you've got to do it, because you just get this build-up and it just becomes incredibly annoying.
Don't do it.
But it doesn't actually hurt you.
No,
apparently.
I know it doesn't.
I mean, people say it gives you arthritis, but it doesn't, I don't think.
No, I don't.
But what do I know?
No, I don't think. I've got arthritis in that thumb, but only that thumb. And I've never cracked that ever, so
Right.
it ain't that. Oh, I just moaned about one of my ailments.
See?
I wasn't moaning about it, I was just pointing out that it's a thing. You must have a little sound that you hear, you just think, oh God, I can't bear that noise.
What, apart from you?
You don't have to be funny every link. What about dogs barking?
Oh, well, it's not, but see, that's not misophonia, that's just irritating. I'm
yes.
irritated by dog barking.
It's a particular sound, isn't it? Or that something that happens every day that you don't like.
Yeah, if a dog barks, it'd have to be a very, very long way away for it not to be annoying to me. I mean, it's a gamble, isn't it, when you buy a house?
Yeah.
Because unless you go live there, you don't know whether there's a dog that lives right next door or a couple of gardens over that's just berserk and barks all the time.
Well, who knew that my flat in London that I've owned for quite a long time, who knew that the seagulls were going to move in next door?
Oh, you the blooming seagulls.
Yeah, well, I know we talked about this before, but if I'd known, or if they'd been there before me, I would never have bought the flat.
Right.
And that noise it goes right through you.
What's weird is that some noises are awful up close, but really nice if they're quite a way away. Like somebody bought a cockerel.
What?
Quite
Where
near.
you live?
Yeah. But fortunately, it wasn't.
What is it, the good life?
Yeah. Fortunately, it wasn't next door. It was about half a mile away, over the other side of the valley where I live, and so it was actually quite nice.
Hearing that noise.
Yeah.
But if it had been outside your back door,
I would have wanted to shoot it.
yeah, you would have killed it and put it in the oven.
Kids playing is another one. Like, you really don't want kids.
Or live next door to a school.
Yeah. Or anybody that's got a child, because they always in this country put a blooming trampoline in their back garden. Parents with children always put a trampoline in their back garden, which makes kids scream.
And the trampoline goes. It does. It makes a horrible noise. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
They really are everywhere.
And they all have those big net strands. They don't even look nice. They don't even disguise them in the ground like they used to when I was little.
Yeah, and the nets are supposed to be a safety feature. Your children are going to die if you let them bounce up and down on those things.
They look like a trap to me.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
I find babies crying on aeroplanes pretty... I have to split.
Yeah, a baby's squeal. Or any girl below sort of puberty, because when they scream, it's of such a piercing note. It makes your teeth fall out. And
Why would they be screaming?
Oh, they just get excited. They scream and they scream and they scream. You must have noticed that, surely. When little girls, because there's one at the bottom of my garden, who's...
What, permanently?
Yes. So,
what, did she live in the shed?
you know, some people have fairies at the bottom of their garden. I've got morons. This moronic family allow their children to just run around and scream and scream and scream. And it's like 10 months of the year. Whenever it's light, they're out there screaming. And you're not allowed to...
You can't say anything.
No.
Good God, no. Oh, my God.
I was going to go kill.
That's a good reason to move, if you ask me.
Yeah, you're not allowed to kill them.
No, you're not.
Because it's against the law.
No, you're not even allowed to...
blooming European Union law. I can't wait till we're out.
You can't even tell them off. It's got nothing to do with the EU.
Because people would go berserk.
Yeah, I know they would. I know. You'd end up in court. You told a child off that isn't yours, you would end up in court. In fact, even if it's yours and you tell it off in public, you'd end up in court.
Yeah.
Someone will report you. terrible, isn't it? No wonder the kids are running riot these days. That's a very old thing to say, isn't it?
Well, but it's a very true thing to say.
Well, it's true. It is true.
Yeah. But it's always been true. I don't think kids are any worse now than they've ever been. It's just that you get older and you're not a kid anymore, and what you used to do to annoy older people becomes annoying to you.
Well,
Payback, I think.
well,
You were so awful as a child.
no, I wasn't. I was a bit naughty at school because I was really bored. Because I was way too clever.
I knew you were going to say something stupid
But it's
like that.
true, it's true. I did. I've told this many times. I passed my 11 plus to go to the grammar school. I had the option to go to the grammar school because you had a choice then. Do you want to go or not? Nope. And I didn't go like an idiot. I didn't go.
Why? The uniform.
Well, my mum couldn't really afford the uniform, so she wasn't too upset. But I wanted to go to the same school as my sister, so I didn't want to be in the grammar school on my own. It was the other side of town. It was the uniform was brown.
Oh,
And
that's not your colour at all.
no, it's not. And anyway, if I'd gone there, I'd be like a boring lawyer or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
No,
Yes, it does.
absolutely doesn't.
Look, think about it. Think about it this way.
Everything happens for a reason.
If I had gone to grammar school, I wouldn't be sitting here now with you.
Yeah, you'd be, I told this thing to shut up. I put it on for 10 minutes so that I know when the break's coming up.
Can't you just make it, like, do something else rather than make that noise?
Well, it's a horrible noise. In fact, I've got misophonia
With that
associated to that noise. Yeah.
But you've created that noise.
Well, I suppose so. You could say that, yeah.
No, you have. It's your phone, isn't it? Or did you steal it on the way down there?
But it is my phone, but it's a default noise. I just haven't gone into the thing to make it do something else.
Okay, it doesn't
I
have to...
thought I'd shut it up. I thought it was just going to light up to tell me that 10 minutes had gone. But it didn't.
It didn't, no.
No, I told it. I've got the...
Because you're a Luddite, you don't even know how to use your own phone.
I've got the speaker with a line through it, which means silent, doesn't it? Apparently not.
No, it's not for alarms. Not for alarms. You have to go into another thing and turn the alarm off, the noise.
Because there's a smartphone, so it's thought, aha.
It's only as smart as its operator. And that's you.
And on that rather insulting note...
Emma, take the blanket off your head.
Yeah, and...
Tell him to get over it.
And Andy, yeah, get over it. Or, what I think might be the problem is, her nails are too long. So she's clacking.
Oh, no.
She's
See, no.
clacking like that.
That's another one of mine. Don't do that.
What, this?
Especially when women have those plastic nails.
Yeah.
And they go like that. And it just goes right through. I can't stand it.
What, this noise?
It's not too bad because your nails are real. It's that horrible
noise,
plastic clicking. Oh, God.
So, Andy, you want to tell your other half to get rid of her horrible plastic clicking nails?
Yeah, that's right.
You're welcome. Right, this is from Rebecca.
Okay.
Dear Nick and Carol, ever since I met a dog called Taxi on a website called Borrow My Doggy.
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
A real dog? Not just a rough girl?
Not just a rough girl.
Yes.
What does that mean? Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
That's very offensive.
No, you are.
Ever since I met a dog called Taxi on a website called Borrow My Doggy, see, you couldn't.
I don't believe that. I'm Googling that now. I don't believe Borrow My Doggy is a real thing.
Well, it couldn't be a dating website, though, could it? Because no woman would want to sign up to a website called Borrow My Doggy.
No, probably not. No.
So let's assume it's an actual dog.
Yeah.
Ever since I met a dog called Taxi on a website called Borrow My Doggy. What does he mean by met?
Well, I suppose you borrowed the dog and then
To do what with?
you get to meet them. Well, people borrow people's dogs, don't they, to walk them, because it's supposed to be really good. It's good therapy. It's therapy. It's supposed to calm you down.
Yeah, well, I get that.
And stuff like that. So you
Right.
borrow someone else's dog. No, I wouldn't lend my dog to someone on the internet.
But I've got a question about that.
No, I've got a dog.
If it's calming and therapeutic for the human, what's it like for the dog? To be just handed around, strangers?
I don't
It must
know.
be a nightmare.
That poor doggy.
Yeah. Anyway, ever since I met a dog called Taxi on a website called Borrow My Doggy, I don't want to go anywhere without him.
Okay, but it's not your dog.
He's incredibly handsome and, quite frankly, a better conversationalist than most blokes I've ever dated. However, I've seen a picture of this dog, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it is a handsome dog.
Okay.
I'm not really much into dogs, but when you see a good-looking dog, then you know it.
Has it ever been on That's Life?
That's Life.
Yeah.
What, the old show with Esther Ransom?
Yeah. Do you not seen that? With
Well,
the
it's like
dog?
about 30 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but it's got
That's Life.
a talking dog on it. She's having conversations with a dog. It must be the same dog that was on That's Life 30 years ago.
It's
Don't
dead
you remember?
now. All the dogs that were on That's Life 30 years ago, they're dead now.
We might have had babies.
Anyway, he's incredibly handsome and, quite frankly, a better conversationalist than most blokes I've ever dated. However, my friends and family think he might be hindering my chances of finding a man. I'm 49 and have been single for 14 years, so time is running out. You can remember 49, can't you?
I was 49 and I had been single for about 20 years at that age, and I
Sup?
I'm stopping streaming.
Hmm?
I said, I'm stopping streaming.
Why?
I'm never streaming again. I don't want to do it. I'm going to sell all my
No,
equipment.
you're not. Why are you stopping streaming?
I'm tired. And plus, I want to do
It's like 9:30.
tax candy. I know it was a bad idea having this with Tassie on it. Yeah.